Hi guys. Okay, so today we did Google applications. Um, so our first kind of question is thoughts on units 3 and 4, and I liked I liked it. It was okay. It was kind of boring, and if you use Google a lot or at least enough, it's kind of basic stuff. But it is nice to see other functions that you are not completely aware of. Um, So it kind of gives you more of a, okay, not only are you already doing this, but here's a couple other things you can do to add to it. And it actually, I like the ideas that it gives. That's really helpful to me. Um, so I never really thought about putting um, parents into Google and then like using that as a way to like collaborate, let them know what's going on and what's coming up. And I think that would be really beneficial because then parents could become aware of if there's any certain things just going on in my particular classroom or anything that they need to be aware of that I'm getting ready to do, and maybe they would like extra material or just kind of what's going on, especially since I'm going to be a special education teacher. Um, Sometimes my classroom will be very different from the other general education classrooms. So it would be nice to give parents a heads up on, so this is what we're doing differently in my class as opposed to all the other classes or just other things that are coming up. Um, or even just like letting them know how their kid is progressing and just keep them just up to date on things. I think that would be nice. Um, Certification, it's definitely a thought. I don't, learning how to do it, I think Google will definitely become more of a thing and more of a factor. I know in one of the schools I am at, for the staff, they actually use, or it's really more for the paras, they actually use the Google Classroom where the principal is the teacher and then the paras are the students. So it has function outside of just your regular classroom, which I think is kind of cool. Um, so certification is definitely a thought. I don't think it couldn't hurt. I mean, we're educators. We're always going to be learning. We always need to have the ability to learn because that's what we're doing. We teach. We need to be able to do what we teach, and we need to be able to learn and grow as we go on to learn to do things better. And I think that with our world becoming so electronic, that it's definitely needs to be a must in the classroom to be able to might be able to bring something extra to the classroom. Uh, as far as would it make me more marketable? Perhaps right now, since it's kind of a fairly new idea. I say new idea because a lot of the schools I work at are not using it yet. So I think it would be beneficial to be certified right now. I do think that at some point it might become a requirement, maybe, or something like it to become a requirement, just because Google is just growing so much and so rapidly, and we're trying to use so much technology in the classroom. And there's technology in our students' lives all the time, so we need to be able to grow and adapt and be able to incorporate it into our classroom. So my experience with Google, like apps like Spreadsheet, presentation, slides, stuff like that. Um, I am a huge fan of Spreadsheet. I use it all the time, at work, for home, and I do share it with other people, uh, for work and stuff. And I think that that's a really big thing for me. Um, just because the advantages to it is the fact that I can put up a spreadsheet or I can do a presentation or something and I could share it with a whole bunch of people. And if I share it to me, each individually or whatever, so they can make their own notes, or if we share it as a group, they can have other people's notes as well, maybe thoughts they didn't even think about. People can go in and make edits and say, hey, because I need to collaborate with other teachers so teachers can put in their input on a student, and then other teachers that work with that student can see that input and know that this is being addressed, or this is how it's being addressed, or whatever the case is. And so it's very helpful to be able to collaborate. I think that's amazing, and we can do it in real time. It's can be immediate. I don't have to worry about putting it in. um, and so I would say something I think the disadvantages would be is that it doesn't tell you who put it in, or when they kind of put it in, which I could see where that would get kind of messy in a document, but in a sense it would be nice, because if, for instance, I added something from several months ago and that's not the case anymore, and then someone looks at it and goes, oh, I wonder if that's new, or they put in a new thought and I'm just like, who put this in? That's not supposed to be there, and then I undo it. And so, I mean, it's a lot of um, making sure that the information is correct, and I could see where that would get complicated. Um, but I do like the fact that, unlike Word or Excel, um, you can work on it anywhere, and that's huge. I used to have a netbook, and actually the current laptop I have now does not have Microsoft. And as a student, I don't want to spend the money on it because it's so expensive. And why spend the money on it when I can use Google for free? And that is why I love Google. Because it gives me what I need and it doesn't cost me anything. And I can even put it on my computer to where I can do it then when I don't have, if I can do it at home where I don't have internet, and then as long as I make it available offline, and then I can work on it when I get back to where I have internet connection. So I think the fact that I can work on it off is still available to me offline is huge. And then the fact that it doesn't cost me anything is another big plus, especially as a future educator. We put a lot of money into our classrooms. So being able to get something for free or a reduced price or anything like that is huge, especially when we can use it to teach and we can use it to learn with and as a communication tool. I mean, that's very big, which I think that's where it is a little bit more basic than Microsoft. I feel like you could do more, but for my purposes, that's not a big deal to me. I can make it work. So even though it's just a little bit more basic, it's still definitely worth it, and that's why I love Google and why I love using Google. So definitely more pros than cons on that one. But that's my thoughts for the week. See you guys next week.